Let me now take you to the southern state of Karnataka because a huge controversy has erupted after the residents of Hornawada village in Vijaypura in Karnataka received a notice from the Tehsildar that 1,500 acres of their land in the village is being reassigned as the Waqf land. The BJP has jumped on this, asking Congress government if they are trying to convert Karnataka into Pakistan. Now, why this has become such a huge controversy and how can the Waqf land, whose sweeping powers have been questioned recently, can take over 1,500 acres of a village land? Here's a report on that.
Amid uproar over Waqf bill, a shocking incident has come to light from Karnataka's Vijaypura district. On October 4th, the residents of Hornawada village received a notice from the Tehsildar to file their objection to 1,500 acres of land being reassigned to the Waqf board. The farmers met BJP MP Tejaswi Surya on Thursday and sought his help over the issue. The BJP MP lashed out at the Siddharamaya-led Karnataka government and asked the Congress if they were turning Karnataka into Pakistan.
Within 15 days, without offering any opportunity to be heard, without issuance of notice, without any principles of natural justice being followed, hundreds of acres of land is being registered in the name of the Waqf board. What does Mr. Zamir Ahmad Khan and the Congress party want to do in Karnataka? Do they want to make Karnataka into Pakistan?
Congress party, however, refuted all allegations by Tejaswi Surya and asked people to not fall prey to BJP's politics.
वो आई नहीं, इसके अंदर डीसी की मीटिंग में आई नहीं, 3 दिन के बाद एलिगेशन करते हैं. अगर उनको फार्मर्स के बारे में अगर उनको ध्यान होता, फार्मर्स को ये लोग अन्याय कर रहे बोले तो वो मीटिंग में आना चाहिए था, मीटिंग में आके आवाज उठाना चाहिए था. अभी 3 दिन के बाद आके 3 दिन के बाद आएगा बोले ये कोसा है ये.
The way he is projecting, every time there is some kind of electoral or elections, they come up with these kind of divisive statements. Nothing will be backed by documents. Nothing will be backed by any legality. There is absolutely no sanctity to such statements. People should not fall prey to such dirty politics.
In October 2020, the farmers of Vijaypura district had met Karnataka Minister MP Patil, who assured that they don't need to worry if they have all the necessary documents. But this is not the first time that Waqf board has been accused of land grabbing. Earlier, in September this year, over 600 Kerala Christian families flagged Waqf board's claims in Kochi's Cherai village. Then, in the month of August, Sunni Waqf board claimed ownership of entire Govindpur village in Patna. In 2022, the Waqf board allegedly swallowed entire Tiruchendurai village in Tamil Nadu's Tiruchirappalli district. The central government introduced Waqf Amendment Bill in the last session of Parliament. The bill aimed to curb the powers given to Waqf board. The bill was later referred to the Standing Committee and now will be tabled once again in the winter session of the Parliament. With Sagai Raj in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
India Today also spoke exclusively with BJP's MP in Karnataka, Tejaswi Surya, and he was one of those who had spoken very clearly and vociferously, specifically on this issue, targeting also Siddharamaya Sarkar and calling this a minority appeasement. Listen into what he said.
1,500 acres of land belonging to farmers in Karnataka's Vijaypura is now Waqf property. This has triggered a huge political showdown, and joining me live now is BJP MP Tejaswi Surya, the chief of also the BJP Yuva Morcha. Tejaswi, namaskara. Thank you very much for joining us here on India Today. This delegation of farmers, Tejaswi, met with you. What are they alleging here? Are they claiming that this land of theirs has suddenly been grabbed by Waqf, by the Waqf board?
Yes, indeed, Akshita. The farmers who met me today and the farmers' representatives who met me today have been tilling this land over generations. And their forefathers, their grandfathers, great-grandfathers, they have tilled this land, they have built their houses, they have been buried there. And they are in possession of the land even today. And not 1, not 10, not 20 acres, but 1,500 acres in just one village, and close to 14,000, 15,000 acres in the whole of the district is now being claimed as Waqf land by the Waqf board. These farmers came with voluminous documents. Documents proving their possession, title and ownership of the land, not from today, but from as early as 1905, 1910. Village maps, survey numbers which were clearly alienated, demarcated, mutation registered, Pahani records, all revenue documents. Upon these documents, they have availed loans. Upon these lands, they have availed subsidies from government. They live in these houses there. And about 2-3 weeks ago, the Waqf board has sent them notices. And upon the basis of this notice, the mutation records have now been changed by the deputy commissioner. And in the column next to the ownership names, the Waqf board's name is entered today.
No, I can't wrap my head
Where
around
should
this.
they go?
Is it this simple?
And all of this abuse,
is it just as
it
simple as
is
grabbing land?
unfortunately because the Waqf Act, Akshita, unfortunately, this is the scheme of the Act. In 1995 and in 2013, the Congress governments brought amendments to the Waqf Act, which gave the Waqf board unbridled powers to do 3 things. 1, if the Waqf board feels that any particular land is a Waqf land either because of Waqf by user or upon its own inquiry, the Waqf board can conduct an inquiry under section 40, and if it is satisfied, it can declare that land to be Waqf land and cause issuance of a gazette notification to that effect. 2, if the Waqf board's claims are to be questioned, then the litigants have to go before the Waqf tribunal. Earlier, only those persons interested in the Waqf could approach the Waqf tribunal. And other litigants belonging to other communities did not have to go there. The jurisdiction was before a civil court like any other property litigation. But the Waqf tribunal was introduced, and if any litigation regarding any claims by Waqf board is made, then whether you like it or not, you have to go before the Waqf tribunal. And the Waqf tribunal's orders, the Waqf tribunal's judgment is final, and you cannot go in appeal. The third thing that the Waqf Act also did was to give powers of removal of encroachment to the Waqf board. So, in essence, it gave an entire package. You can claim a land to be your own upon your own satisfaction, and if a litigation arises out of your claim, then the litigants have to come before your own tribunal, whose order is final and unappealable. And you also have the power to cause issuance of a gazette notification, and you also have under section 54 powers to remove encroachment. Now what has essentially happened in Vijaypura is exactly the abuse under this statute, the provisions of this statute. And these farmers who have been claiming, who have been tilling this land, growing in this land, dependent on this land, whose fathers, great-grandfathers from 1900s have been living in this land, have now been termed as encroachers of Waqf property.
Explain something to me, Tejaswi. You know, we know what's happening right now with regards to the Waqf Amendment Bill, the JPC and all of that. Even now, despite these stories coming to the fore, what's happened in Vijaypura, in Tamil Nadu, there was this entire village that was swallowed by the Waqf board. Even now, you're seeing a whole lot of divide over this issue. An issue that you'd think everyone would come together and say, look, this law is blatantly in favor of one side.
Akshita, I am asking you, you are a very learned journalist. Show me one piece of legislation in the entire world that gives any particular religious denomination powers of this kind, to be the investigator, to be the judge, to be the jury and the executioner, all in your own cause. Show me one piece of legislation. And in this case, you know, it's such a travesty of justice that if you make a claim or I make a claim on any immovable property, the burden of proof to prove that my claim holds true is on the person making the claim. If I am saying that this property belongs to me, I must prove in the court that this particular property on which I am making a claim indeed belongs to me. But under the scheme of this Waqf Act, the burden of proof shifts on the person whose property is being claimed upon to prove that that particular property is not Waqf property. Can you believe this? So if the Waqf, now what has happened in the case of these farmers is, from 1905 they have revenue documents, all of it with them. But now they have to prove that this is not Waqf land, because all that Waqf has to do is to claim that this is our property. You have seen in these crowded railway bogies and these buses, people throw their handkerchief to mark a particular seat as their own, to claim a seat. It's like this. The Waqf just has to send a notice under section 54 and say you are encroacher, you remove your encroachment.
No, but
and then the person on whose that person who is now termed an encroacher has to now prove the Waqf tribunal and these authorities that he is not the encroacher.
No, but explain to me, Tejaswi, why nothing has been done about this till now. The Modi government has been in power for the last many years. Nothing was done to amend this or change it till now. What about the state government? Is it fair to put the onus of the state government? This is clearly an issue with regards to the law, the legislation as it is.
Well, the Waqf Act is a central act, but the Waqf boards are all nominated and dealt with by the state governments. And the Modi government, having realized the abuse of the Waqf Act, we are leaving no stone unturned to correct these historical mistakes. And be very sure that this very year, in the winter session of the parliament, we are going to put a full stop to this abuse under the Waqf Act. The Modi government is going to give justice to all those people who have been and who could have perhaps been abused by this law. It is going to happen in 2024 in the winter session of the parliament.
You know, we spoke also to the advisor to Chief Minister Siddharamaya, and he said that you're trying to create a communal divide here, that you're playing divisive politics and making an issue out of a non-issue.
Of course it is a non-issue for them. Of course this is a non-issue for the Congress party. Because before these farmers met me, they had first met their own minister, Mr. MP Patil, who is the in-charge minister of Bijapura. They met him. I request you to please go on his Twitter account. There is a long post that he himself has written, meeting these very farmers who came and met me. Of course this is a non-issue for them, because 15,000 acres of harmless, poor farmers who belong to the Hindu community is of course a non-issue for the Congress, because they know that they don't get any votes from them.
So you're saying because they're Hindu, they don't care?
I mean, what else should I say? It is the legal advisor to the Chief Minister who has said that this is a non-issue. Is this a non-issue? If your land was claimed, the land that your father, grandfather, great-grandfathers have tilled, the land in which you live today, the land in which you have built your temples, the land in which you have buried your elders, if that land is today claimed to be a Waqf property, and overnight from being an owner of this land you are considered an encroacher, what will you feel? Will you be okay with this? But this is a non-issue for the Congress party's legal advisor.
You know, as bizarre as this is the law. So when the farmers come out and speak to you and say, look, this is what has happened to us and we need help, how do you, Tejaswi Surya, propose to help them right now? Because the law states that the Waqf board can do this.
Well, there are two things that we are doing. One, I have requested all the farmers across the state and especially in this district to come up with all the documents that they have and come and meet me right after Deepavali. We are going to approach the High Court and we are going to make sure that this abuse of process is stayed. Over the last 2-3 weeks, the Minority Affairs Minister has travelled all across the state and has been directing the Deputy Commissioners to register all these Waqf properties, all the Waqf lands as Waqf properties and make the consequential changes in the mutation records. And all the changes that have been made today in Vijaypura is a result of the Minority Affairs Minister's directions, which he gave a couple of weeks ago during his visit to Vijaypura. So we are going to question this in the courts. Second, I have assured all the farmers that in less than 2 months, the Waqf Act 1995 as it stands today will be history, because the Modi government is going to be bringing amendments that are going to clip the wings of the Waqf board, and it is going to bring justice to those whose lands can be encroached upon, and all these unbridled powers that no other body in the country has, no religious denomination anywhere in the world enjoys, these will be curtailed.
We'll hold you and the
A
BJP
sense of
to
balance
that.
will be restored.
We'll hold you and the BJP to that. You're saying in less than 2 months,
Absolutely.
we will ensure, the BJP will ensure that this law and this Waqf Amendment Act is done away with. Tejaswi Surya, thank you very much for speaking to us here on India Today on this truly bizarre and shocking story of farmers having lost all of their hard-earned land just like that.